Welcome in. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Keith Smith. Keith, you wrote a really interesting article for the Celtics blog that was an outsider's look at the Boston Celtics. So you talked to a lot of executives within the NBA, a lot of scouts, and asked them about the Celtics, different players and different classes of players and what their thoughts were on them. And when it came to the rookies, they weren't so high on them. Someone saying they stink. Were you surprised that people outside of the Boston Celtics organization look so down upon the rookies that they have right now?
I think as a whole, I was a little surprised. Not some of them as individuals. I think Carsen Edwards has been a bit of a disappointment. I think people hoped for more out of him. But I think guys like Grant Williams, I think because when you watch the team every single day, you start to appreciate a lot of the little things he does that may not show up in the box score. Romeo Langford, I think, again, being around the team all the time and following them closely, there's an understanding of the fact that he is he missed a large chunk of the early part of the year with injuries and the like. But I was surprised even with those two that some of the scouts and executives are a little down on him. I think the overall takeaway for me was that they look at this class where the Celtics had several picks as a bit of a missed opportunity this past draft.
Absolutely. And being part of the Celtics media tandem, a lot of people have been pretty impressed with Grant Williams and his toughness and his ability to fill in as a really good bench role player. And so that was a little bit surprising to see that people across the league aren't seeing it the same way that we are, maybe. But someone that they brought up a lot of times was Tremont Waters, how they think he has the potential to be the most successful of any of the Celtics rookies. Getting my Boston teams.
I threw you off with the Pats hat. That's what it was.
Exactly. So were you surprised at how high they were on Tremont Waters and his ability to be a really good backup point guard in the league in years to come?
I was a little bit, but I've been hearing that really since the draft, going back all the way to summer league. There were a lot of people who really like Tremont Waters and thought he was going to be a pretty good player. There were a lot of people who expressed surprise back when it happened that the Celtics put him on a two-way contract and didn't just put him on the roster and the like. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me. I'm not entirely shocked by that one. I didn't, and I think it's interesting to see. I think that's doing a little bit of projecting of just how good he was with Maine in the G League versus the things he's done in Boston and really what's been relatively limited minutes with the Celtics. But that one didn't surprise me as much because I had a little bit of a feeling going in that some people really liked him.
And a couple of the executives and scouts said that they think all of these guys in the Celtics rookie class will be career-long bench players. No one really they see has the ability to be a starter or even a spot starter. Do you agree with that assessment?
I think that's a little tough to say that about a guy like Romeo Langford. I think he definitely has the talent to become a starter. His challenge in Boston is going to be at his best positions, the 2 and the 3. The Celtics already have really good players, so I think he's going to have to work around that, and it's going to be hard for him, I think, to ever be a 30-minute a game guy with this team when you've got Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart, all guys at the same spots that he plays. That can be kind of tough for him, but I do think he's got pretty good talent. I think he's got that ability to step forward. He showed me a lot more on defense than I expected this year, so that one didn't surprise me. Grant Williams, that kind of makes sense, and I don't really take that as a negative. I think being a good, if you're a 10-year player in the league and the vast majority of that time is coming off the bench, that's still a valuable player, and that's somebody good teams need. And I think sometimes what happens with us is, again, it's good when you see somebody every day and you see all the little things they do and maybe don't show up in the highlights and the box scores and you can really appreciate them. But then I think it tips almost too far where you start to over appreciate those things and you start all of a sudden thinking, well, this guy's just amazing and he's going to be, the best and anybody would love to have him. And you start to overrate just how much that is when I think when you take a wider league wide approach, I think some of the things that the executives and scouts see is, there's 10 15 guys in the league who can do what he does, and that's where we're looking at it from. That's not an irreplaceable skill set.
Right. Well, a lot of great insight and new perspective in your article, Keith. So make sure to check that out on CelticsBlog. And for all of our Celtics coverage, you can find it on our website at CLNS Media and on our YouTube channel at Celtics All Access.